Hello. We'll just give it a couple of minutes just to see if another minute or so, see if anybody else joins us. I think there's a few joining us today, I've been told. How's your weekend been? Hello. Hello. How are you? Have you had a good weekend? Okay, let's get started. So we've got two quite recognisable characters that we're going to do today, and then one that I don't. Well, it's sort of monster. I've had a request from somebody called Matty to draw a monster, scary monster. So we're going to have a go at that. We'll have a go at that one last. But the first one, we're going to draw, I think his name is Sebastian. He's the crab from The Little Mermaid. So we'll have a go at that one. So your paper's going to be in landscape for this one. The others that we've been doing have been in portrait. So turn your paper sideways on. And we're going to start almost in the centre. We're going to start with his eyes. And I want you to make it's almost an egg shape. And his pupil is down in the bottom right corner. So a little bit like the Simpsons characters that we've been drawing. The second eye is being covered slightly by the first eye, so we can't see all of the second eye. And he has two, they look like bags under his eyes, but I don't think crabs have bags under his eyes. So we've got two big sort of eyebrows that come up, and they start from the centre of where the eyes meet. So we've got almost a semicircle coming across. It doesn't quite touch the other eyeball. And then a similar one on the other side. Now, the face on this character is a little bit like the Simpsons characters that we've been drawing. So we've got this smile that comes underneath. Don't join that line together, so make sure these two don't quite touch. And then we've got a big smile that comes down almost into a point and then back up about halfway in between where that lip joins the edge of the mouth. We can see his tongue in there, and then we can see the other side of his mouth there. So that's the basic shape. He's got a rather big lip which comes all the way from that line that we already drew, and it's quite fat at the bottom, and it comes round. It doesn't connect to anything there, so leave that line where it is. So as we continue round on his head now, so we've got this type shape. So we've got three curved lines. And then from there, we're starting to move into his body. And there's a shell on his back that we can see. And he's got a great big claw that comes up here, and he's got another claw that comes out to the side there. So this is where one of his legs sticks out from. So it's got a very thin part of the leg to begin with. This wraps all the way around, and then something similar to what we've just drawn at the bottom here at the top, and then this gets bigger and bigger as we go towards the claw. So we're getting wider and wider up into this big crab's claw. And then we can see the pincer on that side. Okay. So moving and working our way towards the left-hand corner now. We've got a series of little skinny legs. We've got 3 on this side. And they're slightly overlapping. They look a little bit like fish or chicken drumsticks to me, those shapes there. And coming out of that, we've got a slightly pointed shape there, slightly rounded at the end. And this bottom one sticking out further than the previous 2. And then there's the back of his body, which comes around there. We can see a little bit of the shell sticking out in between those legs. Okay, so let's continue this body on round up to there, and then we've got, again, we can just see some of those legs on the other side. We can't quite see as much of the detail because the body's in the way. I think we've got somebody called Zach Pearson as well drawing with us. He wanted a shout out, so hello Zach. I think maybe Enzo is on here as well, and possibly Jessica and Oliver. I think you've done all of the drawing so far, which is now, I can't remember how many we've done. It's well over 20, isn't it? So this is his neck, sort of part of the shell that we can see there. And then we've got his other claw coming down on this side. So we're going to start with the thin part, which is the same as this one. And then we've got this wider section which comes around into our claw. That's his, looks like a thumb, doesn't it? I don't think it is a thumb. A couple of lines and details on there. And I think I'm happy with that. Let's put a couple of bubbles because he's in the ocean. And I'm quite happy with that. So there's Sebastian. Okay, another Simpsons character for us. This is the teacher, the female teacher that is always arguing with Bart. I forget what her name is. My girls will tell me what her name is. Okay, so we're going to start with the nose on this one. We normally start with the eyes. We're going to start with the nose and we're going to work away from the nose. So you're going to draw almost an S shape. And off of this side, we've got some ovaled eyes. They've got those kind of eyelids that are making it look a little bit sleepy almost. There's a small bag under that eye. And then we've got 3 eyelashes coming off. Now the second eye is the same shape and it's just sitting just slightly away from the nose. And on this side we can just see the rest of the eyeball under the eyelid just curving around, but don't fill that out. And then we've got a few eyelashes on this side as well. So coming out from the edge of her eye, we've got the top jaw and the chin, which sits about halfway down. And you can't see her ear on this one, she's got an earring in. So we're going to draw a earring in there, and the neck comes down and round like so. Okay, so she's got this very big hairstyle, so it's in 3 parts. And then the head, the forehead comes up and around, and we can just see a little bit of a bulge where the eyebrow is. And we've got some hair on that side, and then just a few lines just to indicate the direction that the hair has been combed into, and a few on this side. And she does have a line under this eye, sort of a bag under the eye there. Okay, so she's got what looks like I don't know, possibly a cardigan, an open-topped cardigan, maybe like a jacket on. So we're going to draw the collar in, and then we're just going to have an indication of a top underneath. And her arm on this left-hand side is curving all the way around, and it actually tucks in to her other elbow, so you can't actually see this hand. She's got the cuff on the end of her jumper or whatever that is, and then just a hint of her hand there. You'll see what I mean in a second. So her other arm is now pointing upwards, and on this one we can see her hand. She's got an open hand, and there are 3 fingers opened up, and we can see her other shoulder on this side, there to there. Her top is coming down, so her jacket, like I say, her jacket or her cardigan's open, so we can just see either side of those. And then underneath that there's a long skirt, so we're going to make that type of shape. It's slightly wider at the bottom than it is at the top, just going down with the contour of her body. And then she has her legs sticking out of that, a slight curve on the back because that's her calf muscle, and that goes into her shoes. She's got some small heels on her shoes, and the same on the other side. Both feet are pointing exactly the same direction, so we don't have a front facing shoe on this character like we have had on some of them. And that, I believe, is her finished. Like I said, I can't remember her name. Okay, so this one, we're going to draw a zombie werewolf. Shall we call it that? So we're going to start up in the centre of the page, right towards the top, and we're going to draw, this is the ear. We're going to have a lot of straight lines and sort of jagged lines for this one, and then we're going to come down. The second ear is sticking up behind. This is going to be the head and the face. So we're going to bring some lines up and round. This is the chin area. Coming around the bottom here, you'll see where I'm going with this in a second. This is the mouth, and then we're going to draw some teeth in there. We've got one big tooth coming up there, one in the opposite direction, some smaller teeth in the back, then we have another big tooth on this side, just a few across the front there, and the mouth goes up into the back. So just slightly towards the right, we're going to draw the nose of this creature. So we can see some nostrils in there. And just a line over the top of his nose just to show the snout. Okay, so let's get an eye in here now. So we're going to have almost a triangular shape for that eye. I'm just going to leave a very, very small spot there. A few details in. A couple of whiskers this side. A couple on that side. Okay, so working down from not quite to the top of the ear, but we're going to start working our way down this left side, and this character is going to have a really wide neck. Followed by a shoulder joint or a part of the shoulder there, and we've got some muscular arms, but we're keeping these lines quite straight and sharp. And we've got some claws on this side. I'm just getting the outline for this first. And then we'll just fill a little bit of the details out. You can play around with the textures and the different elements of what you want within this werewolf's arms, or if you wanted some fur or something on there. So just underneath the chin now, we're going to start working our way down towards the body. We're going to have quite a narrow waist, which is going to be about this area here, and then we're going to start coming down into some legs. Now the leg on this right hand side, we're not going to see all of it because it's going to be slightly covered by the character's body. Come out at that angle. Okay. So we're going to have a hand and the other arm on this side And then we can just get some of the other leg almost into the knee area there. Couple of claws that we can see on this foot. Let's get some detailing on this side. So this foot on this side we're going to have facing us. So we're going to look at the toes front on. We're going to be able to see more claws on this side. You can see 4 toes on this side. Okay, and let's get a tail in. So the tail's going to be coming in behind this right leg. And let's get a little bit of detailing onto this body. Just a hint of where those muscles would be and the kind of shapes that we would expect to see in there. We could do some mountain type things in the background. We could do a moon in the top corner. Maybe some trees. In the background. You could do as much of that as you like. Add the background in, or put a building in there, or anything you like. I think we need a name for this character, so if you can think of a good name, send it across to me. Get me on Instagram or comment on the video down below or something like that. Get Mum and Dad to send me a message on Facebook. But I can't think of a cool name for this character at the minute. I'll certainly have a look. There we go, happy enough with that. So the 3 characters that we did again today. It's another 3 down. Sebastian, can't remember her name, and we've not got a name for this. So get thinking, and we will have another go at something tomorrow. I'll keep thinking of some new ideas for us. If you want to draw something particularly, let me know. Thanks for watching. I've enjoyed that, and I'll see you again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.